welcome to the first part of my new series of teaching you how to make a basic Garry's Mod server using the Helix schema. Now, the difference between Helix and DarkRP is that Helix is more customizable, in my opinion, with the code that you can provide, and can provide as well a more serious roleplay experience. But then again, it depends on how your server staff run the server, depending to determine its seriousness level. Now, for beginners, it seems kind of daunting. That's what I'm going to help alleviate with these videos, to help create a series to help teach everyone. Sorry about how messy my desktop is. But anyway, let's get to it. So, the first part is, well, you're going to need the files to do your game mode, as well as you're going to need a way to create the server. Now, whether that's buying a server box or a server provider, it's all going to be, they're going to have different dashboards where to plug these files into, so it goes on a pretty case-by-case basis. But if anyone needs any help, then you can just shoot me anything, really, and I'll try to get back to you and help you with your troubles. I'll leave my Discord in the description for anyone who needs help. Now, we're at this point, we're going to assume that you already have your server bought and ready to go, and you just need the game mode. So, the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to have to get the files. So, in the links in the description, I have two links. One, you're going to need a Helix master file. Now, the Helix master file, this is, you plug this into your game modes and you pretty much never touch it. This is what your actual, like, customized game mode will call from. So, you just don't have to touch it, but if you don't have it, your server will not work. Think about, if you're making a DarkRP server, you have to have DarkRP in the game modes folder for, for your server to switch to it. It's basically the same concept. So you're going to have to get this. So it will come as a zip file. Now you need WinRAR or 7-zip. I'll leave a link to probably both of those in the description as well for some of you that don't have it. But in this case, if you do have it, it'll come as a zip folder. And then you're going to have to get your schema. Now, what is a schema? Your schema is basically the code that you put together. That is what your server is. It's your jobs, your weapons, your menus, your flags, everything. I'll teach you what those mean. I'll tell you what those mean in later videos. But anyway, you're gonna have to go to here, and you're gonna have to get both of these zip files. Now, it's gonna be on GitHub. To download stuff off of GitHub, just click on this green button right here, and click download zip folder. Download zip, and it should be right there. Now, for demonstration purposes, I've already downloaded it, and it's already on my desktop, but I suggest you drag and drop it onto your desktop. So, now you should be here. You have both of these, Helix master file, and then Helix Half-Life 2 RP master. Now, this Half-Life 2 RP master file is one of the schemas that are given out by the developers to help give a basis for developers to make their servers. Think of it as a template. So if you're making a Half-Life 2 RP, great, you have a lot of basis in here already, but if you're not, there's a lot of stuff you're going to have to delete, but it's definitely a big help because you can reference a lot of code from this. Personally, I have a backup of this just so I can reference how the code works in there to how my server is. Now, you can do this as you wish, it's up to you, but that's just what I recommend. So, what are you gonna do? You're gonna unzip it you can just open it up, drag and drop to your desktop. There you go. Do it for both. Now, for me teaching you this, I'm gonna be putting it on my desktop, but for you, okay. But for you, you're going to have to just ignore that part. For you, you're probably going to be dropping this into your server dashboard. Now, you're going to drop both of these into your game modes folder in your file manager, whether that's on a FTP client, or that's through you're the owner and you have access and your server provider gives you a dashboard. You're going to find something called game modes and you're going to drop these both in there.
Just shot at a black man and took his shit.
Alright, so when you start up your file management, file explorer, anything, it's going to come here, home, container, and you're going to come up with these. Now, you're pretty much never going to touch any of these, but what you are going to touch is this right here. Just go over Garry's Mod lowercase. Now, these are all your server files for add-ons, the code you put in. This is where it's going to be happening. Now, so you have these two zip folders. So you're going to have to leave them zipped to put them into your server from a dashboard or an FTP. Well, FTP client you don't have to, but I know definitely that in my experience you're gonna have to leave the folder zipped to put it into your server. So you click on this, and then you just drag and drop them, or if you have an upload button, then you'd use that instead to put that into your server. Alright, now that that's done, you would unzip the folder in your file manager. For me personally, I have these ellipses here, and then there would be a button called decompress, and I just do that. So you decompress them. Now you have these two sitting there. What do you do next? Well, when it comes to Garry's Mod in a game modes folder, all of the files have to be in lowercase. So if you have anything uppercase, it won't register. Also, we like to shorten these files. You don't want Helix Half-Life 2 RP Master to show up in the server browser. Okay, so what I want you to do right now is rename Helix-Master, take out the master part, just leave it as Helix. And now what I want you to do for the Half-Life 2 RP Master folder is just rename it to Half-Life 2 RP. Alright, you've just started your first steps on creating your schema. In the next part, I will go over the basics. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.